Welcome to the Apple Daily News. This podcast is created by Generative AI. Today is July 19th, 2024. Links to all stories can be found in the episode notes. Python's recent upgrade from version 3.11 to 3.12 has led to the rejection of certain Python applications from Apple's App Store. The issue revolves around the items services string, which is associated with app installation requests. Eric Fromling highlighted this problem, leading to discussions among Python developers on how to address the App Store's review process. The consensus is to find a solution for Python 3.13. The items services string is part of Python's standard library, specifically in the URL-lib parser, and is not necessarily used by applications. However, Apple's sandboxing rules prohibit apps from using this URL scheme, leading to automatic rejections. Fromling's appeal to Apple revealed that the offending files were parse.py and parse.pyc. Russell Keith Magee initiated a discussion on whether compliance with App Store requirements should be a design goal for CPython or left to application packaging tools. Suggestions included obfuscating the string, using a JSON configuration file to manage URL schemes, or adding a build time option to remove problematic code. Keith Magee proposed a configuration option called DAS with App Store Compliance to help manage these issues, which would be enabled by default for iOS applications. This option aims to provide a workaround for developers while maintaining a clear path for future compliance. The ongoing discussions reflect the challenges faced by open-source projects in navigating opaque App Store policies, particularly those of Apple. Apple and Salesforce have responded to allegations that they used swiped YouTube videos to train their AI models. A report from Wired claimed that these companies, along with NVIDIA and Anthropic, utilized subtitles from over 173,000 YouTube videos, including content from educational institutions and popular YouTube creators, for their AI training datasets. Apple clarified that while its open-source language model, OpenLM, did use this dataset, it was intended solely for research purposes and would not be used in any of its commercial AI services, including the newly announced Apple Intelligence. Salesforce also commented, stating that the dataset referenced was used for academic and research purposes in 2021 and was publicly available under a permissive license. NVIDIA has not yet provided a response to the claims. The dataset in question, known as YouTube subtitles, includes transcripts from various sources, including educational channels and popular YouTubers. Apple emphasized that it ensures high-quality data for its AI models, using licensed content and publicly available information, and allows websites to opt out of having their content used for AI training. The controversy highlights ongoing concerns about data usage in AI training and the ethical implications of using content from creators without explicit permission. Figma has temporarily removed its Make Designs generative AI tool after it was found to produce designs closely resembling Apple's weather app, raising concerns about potential legal issues for users. CEO Dylan Field clarified that the tool was not trained on Figma's or Apple's designs, but acknowledged that new components added before the config event were not adequately vetted, leading to the similarities. Figma's VP of Product Design, Noah Levin, stated that the company is implementing an improved quality assurance process before reintroducing the feature, although no specific timeline was provided. The Make Designs tool was launched in a limited beta during Figma's config event, but the controversy arose shortly after when users shared the Apple-like mockups online. Field took responsibility for the rushed development timeline, while CTO Chris Rasmussen emphasized that the AI models used, including OpenAI's GPT-4o and Amazon's Titan image generator G1, were not trained on any specific design content. Levin explained that the tool was designed to allow for a wide variety of design outputs by using extensive design systems commissioned by Figma, which included hundreds of components. These components were meant to guide the AI in creating designs based on user prompts. Despite the setback with Make Designs, Figma continues to offer other AI tools announced at Config, such as one for generating text for designs. Users have until August 15th to decide whether to allow Figma to use their data for future AI training. In a recent lawsuit, the Department of Justice, DOJ, along with 15 states and the District of Columbia, have targeted Apple for allegedly monopolizing the smartphone market through exclusionary practices. The lawsuit accuses Apple of controlling app creation, distribution, and functioning within the iPhone operating system. However, Apple's approach to app integration is seen as pro-competitive and essential to its business model, focusing on privacy, security, and seamless user experience. Apple's control over its ecosystem is not considered anti-competitive, but rather a unique selling point that differentiates it from other smartphone providers. The DOJ's lawsuit is viewed as an attempt to achieve through litigation what could not be accomplished through legislation, as previous attempts to regulate similar practices were highly unpopular among American voters. The DOJ's actions are seen as a threat to innovation and consumer choice in digital markets. The lawsuit against Apple is criticized for targeting a company that has excelled in the marketplace through innovation and competition, rather than addressing any real harm to consumers. The DOJ's approach is viewed as politically motivated and a misuse of taxpayer resources. Overall, the lawsuit is seen as a threat to the progress and benefits that companies like Apple bring to consumers. Apple is actively pursuing licensing agreements to acquire more films from major Hollywood studios to enhance its Apple TV Plus library. Traditionally focused on original content, Apple is now looking to expand its offerings to compete with streaming giants like Netflix and Disney Plus, which have extensive catalogs. Despite critical acclaim and numerous awards, including 72 Emmy nominations this year, Apple TV Plus has struggled to attract a large subscriber base, with only 11% of US households using the service compared to 55% for Netflix. The limited content available on Apple TV Plus is seen as a significant factor in its slower growth. Earlier this year, Apple successfully licensed around 50 movies, including popular titles like Mean Girls and Titanic, which received a positive reception. This initial success has encouraged Apple to seek additional licensing deals, potentially expanding its offerings both domestically and internationally. Major studios, including Warner Bros. And Disney, are reportedly more open to selling content to rivals to increase revenue. As Apple continues to explore these licensing opportunities, it aims to bolster its content library and improve its competitive standing in the streaming market. The GitHub repository, tpwrules/NixOS-Apple-Silicon, provides resources for installing NixOS on Apple Silicon Macs. It includes package expressions and configuration modules aimed at creating a straightforward bare metal NixOS experience. The project seeks to replicate the software configuration and versions offered by the Asahi Linux reference distribution, relying on their foundational work. Users can configure and operate their systems similarly to other NixOS installations once the necessary components are in place. The repository is open for contributions to enhance the NixOS experience, although significant deviations from the established configuration will not be accepted. Documentation is available, including release notes and a setup guide to assist users in the installation process. The project is licensed under the MIT license, ensuring open access to its resources. As of now, the repository has garnered 760 stars and 79 forks, indicating a healthy level of interest and community engagement. The latest release was made on July 19, 2024, and the repository is actively maintained with ongoing contributions from various developers. Malik expresses his disappointment with Apple's recent partnership with Taboola, a company known for low-quality advertising. As a long-time Apple One subscriber, he initially enjoyed the bundled services, including Apple News Plus. However, upon learning about the deal with Taboola, he decided to cancel his subscription to Apple News Plus and revert to just iCloud storage and Apple Music, reducing his monthly bill from $37 to $22. Malik has been critical of Taboola for over a decade, likening it to a persistent problem on the internet. He views Apple's decision as a significant departure from its brand values, raising concerns about the company's commitment to customer experience and privacy as it seeks to increase revenue. He argues that Apple should consider raising subscription prices instead of compromising user experience with poor advertising. Malik also notes that Apple News lacks the advertising monetization power of platforms like Facebook, suggesting that the partnership with Taboola is not a sound business decision. Overall, he feels that Apple is prioritizing shareholder interests over customer satisfaction, which could damage its brand integrity. Phi-3-MLX is an AI framework designed for Apple Silicon, integrating the Phi-3 Vision multimodal model and the updated Phi-3 Mini 128K language model. It offers a user-friendly interface for various AI tasks, including text generation, visual question answering, and code execution. Key features include support for the Phi-3 Mini 128K model, optimized performance on Apple Silicon, batch generation for multiple prompts, and a flexible agent system for diverse AI applications. The framework also supports model quantization for efficiency, LoRa fine-tuning, and API integration for functionalities like image generation and text-to-speech. Users can quickly install and launch Phi-3-MLX via command line or integrate it into Python scripts. The framework allows for visual question answering, batch text generation, and constrained decoding for structured outputs. It also includes a multiple-choice selection function and capabilities for training LoRa adapters to enhance model performance. The Agent Interactions feature enables multi-turn conversations and generative feedback loops, allowing users to engage with the AI in a dynamic manner. Custom toolchains can be created for specific workflows, such as in-context learning and retrieval-augmented coding. Benchmarks indicate significant performance improvements with quantization and LoRa adaptations. The project is open source under the MIT license, with comprehensive documentation available for users. Taboola has secured a significant advertising deal with Apple, allowing the digital advertising company to integrate native advertising into the Apple News and Apple Stocks apps. This agreement has resulted in a nearly 11% surge in Taboola's shares. As part of the deal, Taboola will manage native advertising globally across both platforms and has been authorized as an advertising reseller. Native advertising is designed to blend seamlessly with the content of the platform where it appears. The deal enables Taboola to sell ads within the feeds and articles of select publishers featured in the apps. Although Apple does not disclose its advertising revenue separately, estimates suggest that it could reach $10.34 billion in 2024. Analysts believe that expanding its advertising business could enhance Apple's profit margins without increasing device prices. This partnership follows Apple's previous expansion of an exclusive advertising reseller arrangement with Comcast's NBC Universal from the US to the UK. The news was first reported by Axios, and Apple has not yet commented on the deal. Mitra is a new AI-powered app designed to facilitate phone calls on behalf of users, allowing them to communicate with people and businesses without having to make the calls themselves. Users can simply text Mitra, and the AI will handle the conversation, utilizing the user's caller ID to ensure that recipients recognize the call. The app supports calling multiple people simultaneously, with the capability to manage up to 10 different conversations at once. Mitra also offers customization options, enabling users to specify the information or tone they want conveyed during calls. The app is free to download and syncs across devices, making it accessible for various platforms. It includes features for call management, allowing users to track ongoing calls and receive summaries afterward. Mitra is developed by Paladin Biotechnology Corporation and requires iOS 17.5 or later for iPhone compatibility. In-app purchases are available, including options for additional calling minutes and a subscription service called Mitra Pro. Recent updates have focused on bug fixes and improvements to enhance user experience. The app's privacy policy indicates that it may collect data linked to users, such as contact information, while also gathering non-linked data for diagnostics and usage analysis. Users are encouraged to provide feedback through the app's Discord server. That's all for today's episode of the Apple Daily News. Be sure to check the episode notes for links to all the stories we've covered. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.